Hello everyone, welcome. My name is Jacqueline, and in this video we are going to make the Bring Your Home the Christmas Tree block. This is what the block looks like. It's a Lori Hope pattern in her book Vintage Christmas Tree. Oh no, just Vintage Christmas. Anyhow, we've cut this block out using the Quilt die system. I had a custom die made to cut this block out, and so now we are going to sew this block together. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to bring you down to the table. Okay, this block has over 40 pieces, and here I have my design board. This is a design board, and I have all my pieces cut out, and they're on this here design board. It's really big. And I have two design boards. There's a lot of pieces to this block. And so we have cut out all the pieces using the custom dies. And now we are going to piece this block together. I'm going to start with the tree first. And the tree is going to be, this is the tree here. It's on top of the car. So I'm going to start with the tree block first. I'm going to show you how I piece the tree block together. Okay, so over here we have our pieces all cut out using the die system. And here is our first, this is the top of the tree. This tree has the pointed on top. And so we're going to take our side pieces, and my die board is pretty big, so you probably can't see all the fabrics, but we're going to take two of these, put those back there. So we're going to have this, and we're going to put our sides on. Okay, I'm going to move this out the way so I have some room. I have two large design boards because we have a lot of pieces. So this is how it's going to go together. You can see that. This is how it's going to go together. Right? So using the die system, we don't have any points to trim. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my half square triangle, put it on top of my larger triangle, and you want to match up the pieces. Pieces should match up. Okay. And then I start with the right side of the tree. I think this is the right side. Anyhow, I'm gonna sew straight 1/4 inch seam, put my foot down, and we're gonna sew. You see me? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna sew 1/4 inch seam. Now I have the 1/4 inch tape on my sewing machine, and that is helping me to sew a 1/4 inch seam. Now, I'm not going to take that from under the needle. I'm going to grab another tree. I'm going to grab the second part of the tree, and I'm going to grab a different color. Okay, so this is the second part of the tree, and we're going to use, where we go? Where are my sides? Oh, where is my side pieces? Okay guys, so here's the second part of the tree, and I'm going to line this part up. So let me bring you down. I want to make sure it was recording. Okay, so this is the second part of the tree. So I'm going to take this here triangle and line it up with this triangle here. And it should line up evenly because we cut our pieces with the die system. So, all right, and then we just put this under here. One so quarter seam. I am lining this up with my my sewing machine feet, or foot. Okay, and then I'm gonna just chain sew, but for now I'm just gonna do these two pieces. So I'm gonna take my first one and see how perfect that is sewn. Look at that. Okay, so then you want to open up that piece. I finger press it, and look at that. It is perfect, you guys. No dog ears to trim or corners to trim out. Take your other larger triangle, and you have to open this one up, and then lay this onto here. Okay, you want to get it even. Yep. All right. Then we're just going to sew a quarter inch seam, and you want to sew as accurate as you can, because these pieces are sewn. These pieces are correct. These pieces are cut exactly to size, so there's no room for error. So if you have to sew slowly, and then I just cut out this one. And then now we'll open this one up. Now this tree, the triangles do not overlap. So take this triangle. This is a smaller triangle than the other one. And I'm going to put this on here. And you want to line them up. And we want to... Okay, so you want to line them up. You want to trim this off. All right, and open this up, and look at there. You have a perfect triangle. Look at that. Perfect triangle. No corners to trim. No, nothing. Now you do want to sew perfect as possible. I don't sew perfect, so sometimes my seams are not even. Sometimes my quarter inch seam is not accurate, but this one's pretty accurate. And we have our point here. And this is going to be the top of the tree. Okay, and then this is going to be the bottom of the tree. Okay. And these two triangles do not touch each other. And then you just open them up. And this triangle, or this part of the tree is a little smaller than the top part of the tree. And again, I finger press. And there we go. Nothing to trim. And then this is the top. We want to take the top. You're going to put it like this. And then we want to, I put the small one on top. This one's smaller than the top part of the tree. So I'm going to put this on evenly on here. And see how they match up even. Okay. And then you want to sew that together. Quarter inch seam. Very important because there's no room for error. So you may want to sew slow. So you don't have to do any stitching. But like I said, there's no room for error, because these pieces are cut to the exact size that they need to be. Okay, so, and I'm off a little bit right here. That's my sewing. So, sometimes my sewing is off. But, open it up, finger press, and this is what we get, okay? And then you continue making triangles with the rest of your, here's the rest of your trees and your triangles, and just continue sewing those together. And then you want to put your stem on at the end. And let me show you how I make the stem. Okay, so over here on my other design board, like, you want to take your stem, okay, and then you want to take your side pieces, which is the background, and we have two of these, let's see, two of these, okay. Again, I'm going to move this out the way because this is big. I'm going to set that to the side, and then we're going to make our stem of the tree. Again, you want to line these pieces up, quarter and seam. This is very easy sewing, guys. This is not hard at all. Okay. Now, when you get your pieces, when you get your kit, when you get your kit, all the pieces will be labeled A, B, C, D, E, and so on. I will have all the pieces labeled so you'll know which piece is A and which piece is B, C, D, E, and so on. All the pieces will have little stickers on them that shows you which letter is which. So, okay, so then take the other piece, put it on the other side of the stem, and then you want to line them up. They should line up perfect. If they don't, it's because you're not lining them up. All right, again, we're going to sew quarter and seam. Quarter and seam is very important when you are working with exact pieces. Okay. I like to keep a scrap piece under my needle. Okay, so then you open that up. I finger press everything, and then I go to the iron at the end. And that's because my iron's in another room. And there we go. And we can press these away. I would press away from the center. So, lay this down. Press away from the center. Okay. And then there's your stem. And then you'll take this, and for the tree, you want to have, I believe it's 8 branches. And then once you put do your 8 branches, then you want to put your tree stem at the end like this. Okay, and then you sew it together, and you should have 8. Now, also in front of your tree, there's a spacer. And the spacer is this big piece here, big piece of background fabric, and it's gonna go just like that. Okay, so let's sew that on. Let's trim that. Okay. Trim that off of there. Alright. Okay. Again, we want to finger press. I finger press the seam up. And there you go. So you got your spacer here. Okay, and then you have your tree. See that point, you guys? You want to make sure you have that point there. See my point? Your top of your tree is going to have a point, but the other parts of your tree are going to be blunt. I call it blunt because there's no point. And then you have your stem down here. After you add more tree branches, then you put your stem here, and that's what your block is going to look like. Now, I have one already made over here. I have one already made right here. Already made. Here's your spacer piece up here. Okay. And then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 branches, and then you have your stem. And this is the top of this is the tree that's going to go on top of the car. Okay. Here is your So here's the block. Okay, can you see that? Here is, this is such a big block, it's hard to get it in the camera. But this is the tree. And then this would just go right here. Go right on top. And there you go. So it's going to just go right on top of the car. You got 8 branches, and then you have your stem. Okay? So that's how you make the tree. Now we're going to work on this block. It's like 3 sections. Okay, you have your tree on top. That's one section. And I suggest you make the tree first. Okay, that's the easiest part, is to make the tree first. Then we'll make this section here. And then we'll make this section, this section, this section, and then we'll put these 3 parts together. Okay, so let's see. We'll work on, let's do the top of the car. Okay, now I have to bring up my pattern so I remember what's what. Okay. I made my quilt a year ago, so it's been a while. So I have to refer back to the pattern. So we're gonna do the top of the car. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna see. This is gonna be. Alright, so we're going to make top of the car. So, right here, let's make the burgundy car, okay? So, now, my pieces are die cut, so they are not going to look the same as they do in the pattern. In the pattern, it shows, the pattern shows a straight piece, but because my pieces are die cut, I've already got the corners cut off. We're going to sew a K, a little square piece, letter K. We're going to sew K to DD. Okay, now this is my DD, and my corners are already trimmed off because this is die cut. And so I'm going to sew K, let's see, which is a background piece right here. I'm going to sew one background piece, this little triangle, and it's going to get sewn to this here in. Yeah, put that on there. And we're going to sew that. Again, I got to move this out the way. Okay, so I'm going to sew K to DD. And like I said, your pieces will be labeled, so you'll know what piece is D and what piece is K. So, let's see. All right. And this is not a fast quilt, you guys. You have to take your time and sew this together because there's a lot of pieces and they're not squares and rectangles. Okay, so then I open this up. Okay, open that up. Finger press that piece. See in the camera? Okay, so this piece here. Right. Yeah, that's this piece here. And then we're going to sew, looks like the windows. And that's pretty easy because it's just squares and rectangles. All right, so we're going to set this aside there. And then I'm going to grab T, E, and U. T, E, E, and U. Now, I know T. Okay. So this is T that we are doing the windows. So I'm gonna lay the windows out. So we're gonna have two of these. We'll have a T-E-U. T-E-U. That's two T's. That's two U's. Actually, no, this is the U. Okay. It's a lot of pieces. So this is going to be, okay, where's my, oh, okay, over here. Nope, that's not it. There are so many pieces to keep track of. I think this is it here. No, that's not it. Okay, hold on. Oh, you know what? They're right here. Right here in front of me. All right. Nope, right here. The bigger ones. All right, so we got our, I'm going to lay out our windows. Yes. And that was quick. Okay, so we're going to lay out, and then we're going to, okay, so this is our window. The camera, yep, okay. So we got T-T, we got T-U-U-S, T-U, we got T-U-U-S, and this is going to be, oh, this is T. This is T here, okay? So we got T, we got a T, a U, and an S. And then we're going to put these pieces in between, and we're doing the purple car. Some purple there. And purple there. Okay. All right, this is the window. This is the window. So we have T, E, U, E, U, E, S, and E. Okay. So we're going to sew together the window, which is we're going to sew together the window, which is the gray right here. This is the window. Okay, so we're going to sew that together. All right, so, and then this part is easy. You're going to take your piece here, and you're going to put it on. I put the small pieces on top, line them up, and then I just sew straight. And then just take the next piece and line it up. This is called chain sewing, because these pieces go to each other. We can just keep sewing. This is just straight sewing right here. And then take this one. And want to put this on here. This here, this is already cut. And in the pattern, this is a rectangle. But because we're using a die system, it's already cut to size. And we just want to add rectangle in here. Okay. Okay, and we'll cut these apart. now. And so I'm going to go like this. Okay, so then we're just going to open that up. Finger press. Open this piece. Finger press. And then this piece is going to go on top of this piece. Okay. And I'm going to make sure I line everything up. And then we want to open this one out. And open this one out. Okay. And then we're going to put this piece onto this piece. This is not a hard block to sew. It's just there's a lot of pieces to keep track of. So by labeling the pieces, that's going to help you sew the right pieces together. All right. So open that up, and then just open this out. And we're going to take this piece here, and we're going to sew these two pieces to each other. Okay, so this is the window of this. It's not a car, it's a station wagon. This is the window. All right. And so there we are. This is the window. Okay. So we'll set that aside, and let's see. Okay. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna take the window. Okay. And we're gonna take the top of the. This is the top of the window, like the roof, and we're gonna put it together like this. Together like this. And I'm going to put the small piece on top. And this is kind of long, so you might want to pin. I don't usually pin, but I think I will pin this piece just because it's long and skinny, and I don't want to have to unsew. So, because this is long and skinny, and it has to line up. And line it up. Okay, looks good. I'm going to line this piece up here. Okay, and then we want to sew. Yeah, and we want to, let's see. Now with the die system, you have to piece it a little different because the pieces are already cut to size, and then you have to line up. So this here, okay. Oh, and then we're gonna put the white one on. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, so that's, and then, oops. So once let's see. I wonder if I should sew this piece on first. Let's see. No. No, this piece has to go last. So this piece will go first. And in your kit, I will tell you what piece you will sew first and what piece you will sew second, and so on. Because I'm basically sewing it the same way it is in the book. But because my pieces are cut to size, sometimes you may have to sew a certain piece on before another piece. Okay, so I think I'm going to sew this. Let's see. Yeah. So, all right. You know what? I think I'm going to sew it on this side. Yeah. I think I'm going to sew it skinny piece on the bottom. Let's see. Okay, all right. Here we go. So I'm sewing with the skinny piece on the bottom, but I'm making sure that it lines up. You can sew whichever way works for you. For me, this here works better, sewing this piece on the bottom. And then I want to make sure these pieces are laying flat. My pins are not in the way. My pins are a little lower. Okay. And you don't want to stretch this piece because this long skinny piece, you can stretch it out of shape. Okay, so all right. All right, let's see how we did. When I made my quilt, I cut it out with the rotary cutter. I made that quilt probably 2, maybe 3 years ago, and I did not have this custom die. I just had this die made. Okay. All right, and you don't want to stretch this piece here because it's on the bias. So you open this up. Oh, perfect. Open this up, and you see how this looks right here, how that sticks out. That's normal because we are going to add a background. I'm just going to put it on here, put it across here, and then we're going to sew a background. And you want to make sure that your pieces line up because we are not pressing, so your pieces may not line up. So you want to make sure you stretch your pieces out so that they line up. And I can tell my stitching is a little, my corner seam is a little wide. So, but that's okay. We'll keep going. Oh, it's still lined up. Yeah, okay. So, there is our window. This is kind of flimsy because it's so skinny. It's like 1.5, and it's like biased, so be careful with that. And yeah, that lined up. Beautiful. So that's our window. So our window is done. So you would do this quilt in sections. This is how you would piece this quilt together. You piece it in sections, okay? So we've got our tree. We got a tree here, okay? See that? Okay. Let's bring that up. And then we got our window, which is here. But we have to sew, let's see, we have to sew another background right here in front of our window. In front of the windows. Yeah, we have to sew another background here, okay? And then we want to sew a background to the back. Back here. Okay, so let's do that. Let's take this background. I'm going to sew it on here. Okay. And I'm going to just line it up. Okay. And I'm going to just now make sure your pieces line up. Remember, we did not iron the pieces, so we're going to make sure all our pieces are lining up. And you may have to stretch some of your pieces because we didn't press them. They may look like they won't fit, but they will. You just have to stretch them out. Okay. All right. Okay. And then we want to sew another background piece in front of our windshield. I'm going to put that piece on the bottom. Okay. Okay, and that section is all done. So we have our tree here, okay, and then we have our windows done, completely done, right there. And then we just have the bottom of the car to piece. This actually is going pretty fast, but it's taking me longer because I'm talking to you guys. But I could have had this done by now. And also, if you want, I could go ahead and sew these pieces together because this is the bottom section. So let's do that. Let's do that. So I'm piecing this together a little different than the way the pattern says to. And mainly because my pieces are all die cut. And so I don't have to do any trimming. And you notice we have not used a rotary cutter. That's the beauty about the die systems. You do not have to use a rotary cutter. And I love it. I love it. I can go a lot faster without using a rotary cutter. And if your sewing is not perfect, Don't worry about it. My stone is not perfect either, but I can still put it together. I can still put it together. So just do the best you can. This is not a beginner block, but the way I'm doing it, it can be a beginner block because I'm cutting all the pieces out for you. That makes this a beginner block. Okay? All right. Let's turn this over. Woohoo. Look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Ah, look at that. It's so, look at that. Oh my goodness, beautiful. Look at that. I got a fold right here, but that's okay. Look at that. Look at that. This is, you can have it. Okay, here we go. We got the top of our car all sewn together. We got the tree on top of the car. And the reason this has just a background square on top is because you don't want your tree to go all the way past your windshield. That's why this piece is just a filler or just background. You could have added 2 more trees, but then your trees will be covering your windshield of your station wagon, and that's not normal. Because here's your windshield right here, and you don't want your trees to go past your windshield in real life. So that's why this filler is here. This is a long block. I think it's 29, something like that. But our top part of our car is done. Okay. We still have to press it. Oh, I love this block. It's so pretty. Okay, so now we have to make the bottom. And the bottom is going to take a little longer because our tires, we have a lot of pieces to put into our tires. Here's what our tires look like. We have to, this hubcap, and then you got to put your corner pieces in, and then your side pieces. So this will take a little bit longer. So I suggest you guys put this together the way I'm showing you, is to do your tree first. That's the easiest. And then do your windshield or your windows. And then do this last, because this is going to take some time, mainly because of the tires, because of all the little pieces. I don't know if you can see those pieces in the corner. That's these pieces right here. And they're real tiny. And they're going to go right in the corner. So, all right. Let's keep going. Okay, now we are going to work on the bottom part of the car. Okay, so we're going to take this part of the car. And again, corner's already trimmed. Lay that there. And we're going to put a K here. And then we need a B. Where is our B? Okay, so we're going to use, let's see, got a background. Okay, now we're going to use our, let's see, let's do yellow. So we're going to use our yellow triangle. It's going to go here. That's going to be the strip on the car, or the accent strip. So that's going to go like that. And then we're going to work on the tires. So we're going to put that piece there. That piece is going to go there. We're not going to. Okay, so we're going to work on that. Then we're going to work on the tires. And the tires we have. This is G, G, and O. Okay, so Q, this is the hut cap. And we're gonna put piece there. One piece is gonna go there. Oh, okay, you can see. Piece is gonna go there. And a piece is gonna go there. This is gonna be hut cap 2. Okay. There, won't need that one. So we're gonna put you can see, yeah, okay. So we're gonna put a piece there, and then we're gonna put one there, and then I have to get one more piece put there. I think this is 2 stuck together. Let's see. Oh, this is 2 stuck together. So we're gonna put a piece there. I'm going to put a piece there, okay? So that's going to be our tire or wheel. And then we're going to use, and then we're going to have, this is going to be on this, that's going to be on this side, and that's going to be on this side. And that's going to be on the bottom. Okay. And then we want to sew. And then that's going to be right there. And we're going to have to cut some more. But, so for now, we are going to work on putting together the tires. Okay, but first let's sew this part of the car together. So I'm gonna go here. Okay, gonna sew that together. Open that piece out. Okay, and then we're gonna take our car, not a car, but strip. This is the strip on the station wagon, and our strip is gonna be yellow. I'm just gonna make it yellow. Open that up. And this is going to be the strip. Okay, so this is that part. And we're going to set that aside. And now we're going to work on our tires. And our tires, and I do have to cut another piece. But this is going to be our tires. We're going to take these pieces here. And this is really small. So you want to try to get it as perfect as you can. Or sew it as perfect as you can. Let's see. I just put my finger on it and hold it and go slow. Okay, and then we'll just go ahead and start our next tire too. So we'll chain piece. We're going to do both our tires. So we're going to go, let's see, this piece here. Okay. Take this one off. Okay, you want to open it up. Ooh, perfect. Look at that. Okay, it's hard to tell what it is until you get all 4 pieces on. So let's just keep going. Let's put this piece. Doesn't matter which side is right or wrong. It's black. Both sides look the same. It's just a black print. Okay, let's see. Right. This one off. This is our other one. Open it up. And put this piece on here. And just keep going. This really doesn't take that long to sew together. It's just a lot of pieces. Small, medium, large, different size pieces. But I think this is actually going pretty fast. Of course, I made this before, so. But when I made this before, I had to cut it up with a rotary cutter. And my corners were not trimmed off. So I had to sew and then trim, which creates more fabric waste. This method, you don't have the fabric waste. Put that on. Oops, and line it up. This is the smallest pieces in this block. Is making the tire. This is the smallest piece you have. And one more. One more. Okay, let's see. Oh, right here. Okay. Alright, we got those finished. Open them up like this. Now, my sewing is off a little bit. They don't quite line up, but that's because my sewing is not even. But we'll make it work. But this piece is good. That's even. And that's even. And that's even. This piece is just off a little, but I'm going to leave it. This is pretty good. And then this is pretty good. Yeah, this is better. And this is how it's going to go. It's like a snowball. It goes like that. Okay. And then once we do this, and we're going to take a piece here. And we are going to this is a G, and we're going to put an O on a G. And let me see what the O pieces look like. Make sure I got the right ones. O. Okay, so O pieces. And my GG. 2 1.5 square. Okay. So this is an O, and then we want to put a GG on here. And that's going to be the purple. So we're going to put one of these on here because our car is purple or burgundy. Yep. See how that lines up? Okay. I don't have any more burgundy pieces cut, so I'm going to have to cut another piece. And there we go. Perfect. Perfect lineup. Look at that. Look at that. And then this is going to go here. Oh, we can go ahead and sew these side pieces on. All right. Let's go ahead and do that. And let's go and put the wheel on top. I want to make sure I get it to line up. Okay, we have that there. And we're going to put this one over here. Once you make this block once, this next one will go a lot faster because it's just a repeat. It's the, you make one block, and then after you make one, use that as a, use it as a, to go by. Use it as a model. I can't think of the word. Make one block, and then use that block to make your other blocks. That's what I'm doing. Is I'm using this one here to do this block, and then this is going to go on here, and that's going to go there. And see, that's going to give you your tire. And then we're going to do this one too. We've already sewn that. So now I'm going to cut some more purple, and then I'll be right back. Okay. All right. So let's continue sewing this on here. So we're gonna put burgundy on the black, and this is, and so now we are assembling our tire. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna change, so I'm gonna change piece. That, bring this up. Okay, so we're going to put that there, and then we're going to make one more. Pieces stuck together, and that's going to be for the other car, which I make off camera because they're done the same way. They are done the same way. So that one there, that there, so that goes there. You're gonna put this way. You're gonna put those on the side and on the side. That there, and that there, and then we're gonna sew all those on. So on camera, I'm just gonna make one for now. But the second one is made the exact same way. And you can just change sew pieces together. Okay, let's see. Okay. So this is going to go on the, this will go on that one, and we'll do that one later. Okay, so this is our first car, and that's how it's going to go. Okay, so then we're going to take this, and then we're going to sew the top and the bottom together. This goes so much faster when all the pieces are cut out. So much faster. You guys can make this quilt. You can make all these blocks in a day. And if you have some time, you can sit down and you can make this, and you can make all 6 blocks in a day. Or what you could do is make all the trees like on day 1, and then make the windows on day 2, and then come back and do the bottom of the car. The bottom of the car will take a little bit more time because you have all these little pieces. And so that will take a little more time, but the trees will go really fast because they're all the same. And the windows are just rectangles and squares. And so they will also go pretty fast. And then you have the one triangle at the end. That goes really fast. But the bottom of the car is where it's going to take you a little bit longer because you have all these little pieces, like the tires you put on. Look at that. Look at that. And there we go. We have a tire. And then we just make 2 of these. Okay. Okay, so now we have our 2 tires done. Okay, have our tires done. Okay, so next we're going to, we have these are done. Okay, so next we're going to put our, okay, so next we're going to add CC and I together. And that is going to be 1 background. It's going to be a 1 background and 1 color of the car. Okay. So we're going to put 2 of these together. Blue is on top. Okay, so we're gonna sew 2.5 squares together. Okay. And we're gonna open that up. Okay. And that's gonna go like this. Okay, it's going to go just like that. And then we need an F, F, and a J. So we need F, we need that one. And we need a background. And then we're going to sew 2 of these together. Okay. And we're going to open that up. And that is going to go right here. And that's how that's going to go. Okay. So let's sew this down to here. This and to here. All right, that's what it looks like this way. Okay, and then we're going to sew this on top. So we're making the front tire of the station wagon. This is what we're making. We're making the front tire. Okay, and open that up. See, this is what we got. goes like this. This is the front tire. Okay, so if you look at this piece here, that's going to go right here. Okay, that's the front tire. That's where that's going to go. Okay. Alright, let's keep going. So we got that done. Now we're going to make the center. Okay, so like this. I know you want the piece here. And piece of background here. Okay. All right, so let's sew this. We're working on the body of the car, the bottom part of the car. And the car has an accent strip in the middle. And that's what this yellow is. It's the accent part of the car. I just chose yellow. Now, when you guys get your kits, these are not the fabrics you're going to get. This is just to show you how to put the block together. Your kit is going to have some different fabrics than these. I don't know what fabrics. I'm just going to randomly put some different colors in the kit. So each kit will have different color cards. So if you were to purchase 2 kits, you may get 2 identical kits, you may get 2 different kits, which is okay because the cards don't have to be all the same. I only purchased 1 bolt of fabric of a print. I purchased 1 bolt of a print and a color. So I might purchase a red fabric with, you know, whatever print. And when that 1 bolt runs out, then that's the end of that color, that print, and then I will find another red or another blue or another yellow. So because I'm just building my business, when I purchase my fabric, I may purchase 10 bolts of fabric, but there'll be 10 different colors, 10 different prints. And so, but your kit will not be these particular fabric colors or prints. They'll be different than this. There'll be just different colors. Okay, so that's the middle of the car. And that's done. Okay, and that's going to go up here. It's going to go there. But we have to put the bottom on. Let's see, I think that is this piece here. Yep, that's going to be the bottom. Okay. So open this up, and this is going to be the bottom. Okay, and this is going to go here. Now we want to match up. Oh no, not yet, not yet. We got another piece to put on here. Let's see. Okay, so we got this. We got this. And then we want to put, let's see, we have to do it. We have to do this one. This is the long one. Okay, so we're not ready for that yet. We have to take the other wheel and put a BB on top. And that's going to be this here. color. So we're going to put this on top. Okay. So this is going to go right on top of here. Okay. All right, so that's the end of that. And then we're going to take this and we want to sew background to here and then the background up here. Okay, so let's sew this one. We're almost finished with this block. We're almost finished. I did not make the first quilt this fast because I had to stop and read the directions, and I had to trim the corners and then trim the triangles. This is just so much faster. Alright, so we got that piece there, and that there. And then we're going to put F on the bottom, which is a background. I believe, is this F? No, S. Is this F? No, I think it's this one. Yep, it's this one. Let's see, you're going to put one here. Okay, so we're going to put this down here. I think all the hard pieces are done. Now it's just rectangles. Okay, got that piece on. Okay, so we have this here, then we got this here, and then we got this. All right. Okay, so, hold on, something don't line up. Let's see. We have this. Oh, you know what? This here doesn't need to, the tires on the back tire, it only shows the bottom part of the tire. It doesn't show the top. I'll show you what I mean. Let me take this off. So, okay, so take that off. Okay, so this part goes like this. Okay, so there we go. Yep. Okay. All right, let's put this here. Now, I'm going to show you why I took that off. Because the front tire is different than the back tire. I thought they were identical. I was on a roll. With the front tire and the back tire, because the front tire, you can see the whole front tire, but the back tire, you can only see part of it because of the part of the car comes down over the tire. So, alright. That's how that, because you have this piece here on top, you don't need to have oh wait, this is upside down. Yeah. Okay, hold on. I gotta take this off. This is upside down. Okay, upside down. So let's see. You may need a seam ripper, but you don't need a rotary cutter. Okay, so it's gonna go Oh, I see. Upside down. Upside down. Okay, so this is going to go down here. Oh, you know what? This is the wrong color. This is the wrong color. So I'm going to take this off. Because I was ahead of myself when I made this tire. Don't need that part. This here, we're going to make this again. This is wrong. These two we don't need. So we'll take this again, and we need to use the background. Okay, so we hit the wrong color. So we want to put the background on this here. That's why it didn't look right. Okay. And then another one. I'm going to put the background here. I am not going to cut this out. I'm going to leave this in so you see how I made a mistake and then how I was able to rip it out. It should be the background on this piece, and then take this piece and put this on here. So we basically just hit the wrong fabric color. I made both tires identical, and the back tire is not the same as the front tire. So do not do both of your tires at the same time. I mean, you can, but just remember they're not the same. They're not the same. Okay. Then we want to put this up here on top. Because the back tire is different than the front tire. So I suggest you watch this video all the way through before you make your block, so you'll catch the mistake I made before you sew yours together. Otherwise, you'll be doing what I did and ripping it back out. All right, there we go. Now we got it. Perfect. And none of the seams have to line up so far. Okay, now this seam will line up. This is our first seam that will have to line up. You want the purple to line up. And let's see how I do without pinning. Let's see if I can get it to line up. See how I did. Pretty good. Pretty good. Right here is where you want these two pieces to line up. And I'm pretty close. And this one here. Right here as well. Pretty close. All right. Okay. Now, okay, well, I think we're done. Oh, we have to put the strip on top. Okay. And we're using yellow. Okay. And we need to... Okay, so it's going to go like this, and then we need a background. Our background is the polka dots. Okay. Right. It goes like this. Actually, I think I should have, oh, I should have cut it this, you know what? Let's see. I should have cut it backwards because I need it to go, I should have turned my fabric upside down. Okay, hold on. Okay, we're back. Okay, so I need to make sure I had the right piece. Yeah, you want to cut your strip. Wow, I need to cut all my strips facing down and then flip them over. And some of my strips will cut face up and some will cut face down. So the ones that are face up will not work because it'll be this way, and we need it to be this way. So, okay. All right. All right. Okay, so you open that up. And then we're going to put this on top. There we go. Yep. This is another long piece I'm going to do without pinning. And see how good I do. Alright. In case you guys wonder, I am sewing on a commercial Juki sewing machine. It's a straight stitch machine only. All it does is straight stitch. And I love this machine. It's fast. Okay, let's see. Oh, came unthreaded. Let's see if I can get this rethreaded quickly. Right as I'm near the end, it comes unthreaded. Let's see. I'm usually pretty fast at this. Okay. Pretty fast. Got it threaded. Bring up my bobbin thread and I think my bobbin thread might be out. Nope, it's not. Okay. I can do this without even looking. Let's see. Oh, there we go. We got it. See how fast that was? Okay. Okay. Okay, got a little bit of a bump down here. Let's see if we can fix that quickly. I don't want to stretch it because it's on the bias. Let's see. Okay. Let's turn it over this way and do it. Okay. Let's see how well I get this. See how well we did. Well, we didn't get it lined up. Now I'm going to take that out later and try that again because I want these two white pieces to line up. See how they didn't line up? And that's because my sewing has a pleat. And so I'm going to go back and re-sew that so that that lines up. And then, and then, let's see. But I can still go ahead and sew this piece on because this here is perfect. I just need to fix that in. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this on. And then I'm going to go back and fix that. Let's see. Pretty good. She got this one to line up. See how that lines up right here? That's pretty good. And guys, that is it. I'm going to go back and fix that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I went back and I fixed that. I didn't get it all the way, but it's good enough for me. But you want to make sure you line the two white pieces up. So you might want to sew at this end first and put a pin in it so these two line up. Mine's off by 1/4 inch, but I'm just going to leave it. No big deal. It's not perfect. But, all right. Now, we're going to take our top and then we're going to sew our top piece. Ooh, look at that. Looks like a car. I think we did it. I'm going to sew this together. And then I'm not going to pin. It's just one long straight piece. And I think I can do this without pinning. And there's nothing to line up besides your 1/4 inch seam. Let's see, I'm going to try and get these lined up. Okay, now I'm going to sew at the other end. Alright, because I want to make sure these line up. If you need to pin, you can pin. Let's see. Okay, so my piece is off a little bit. What am I missing? All right, so okay. All right. Hold on, you guys. Oops. Okay. Now, because I didn't iron my pieces, you want to stretch them out a little so that they line up. Because I don't press along the way. Okay. So you want to stretch your pieces a little bit if you didn't press them. Otherwise, they're not gonna line up. So, what you could do is pin and then remove the pins along the way. Okay, so you want to stretch your pieces like this so that they line up. Because I went and I pressed my top piece after I was all done. You want them to line up. All right. Okay. All right. Lay flat. All right. We are on the roll. All right. I think we are done. Straps. Put a new piece of strap under here. Okay. All right. I'm going to turn my iron on. Okay. All right. Turn our iron on. All right, we are done with this block. You just have to pick out a thread. Now, you guys, this is not perfect. I am not a perfect sewer. I've been quilting for many, many, many years, and I am not perfect when it comes to my quilting seam. I try to be, but it doesn't always happen. And that's okay, you know. As long as I can put my quilt together, that is good enough for me. Because if I keep trying to get a perfect quilting seam, I never get it done. And I don't want to get frustrated and just throw it in the trash. So do the best you can. It's not going to be in a show. least mine's not going to be. Yeah, we are done. I'm going to press it, iron it, whatever they call it, so that my bottom and my collar lay flat. I pressed my top earlier when I got done with it. So now I need to press the bottom so to get all the wrinkles out. But yeah, we are done. Look at that. We made a Bring Your Home the Christmas Tree quilt. Look at that. Cool. Cool. All done. Look at that. So it's 3 sections. You have your tree, you have the windows, and you have the bottom of your card, which is in 4 sections. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's 4 sections. I would recommend watching my video. Make this quilt the same way I made it. Make the trees first, then come back and do your windows, because your trees are very easy, and so are your windows because they're just rectangles and squares. And then you have your half piece up here, and then you sew that half onto that. But do it in the order I did, because these pieces are die cut and they have to go in a certain order. I didn't follow the book completely because my pieces were already trimmed because they were die cut. And then make the bottom last, because the bottom is going to take you a little longer, especially the tires. You see the tires are different. Here you can see the whole tire, but down here you can't because you have whatever they call this piece. It covers part of the back of the tire. So your 2 tires, they're not quite identical. The middle piece is identical, but the end pieces are not. And then here is the original block that I use as a mock-up, and they are the same. Let's see if I can get this on camera. There, and here you go. They are identical. Look at that. Trees. You got your windows. And you got your windows. So now I have a blue car and a burgundy car. Cool. I'm going to run and press this, and I'll be right back. Okay, here is the finished block. This block, I believe it's 20, I want to say 25 by 18, something like that. But this is the finished block. And so, yeah, pressed it out. And then, here we go. All right. Nice. So we have a purple card with a yellow strip. This is what they call the accent, or the strip. Yep. We have 2 cards. We have a blue one. We have a blue card. Okay. And then we have a purple car. All right. Purple car. And they should be the same size. Let's see. Yes, they are exact same size. All right, so I will have this kit in my Etsy shop and on my website probably this weekend. I have to go and cut all the pieces out, which takes a little time because it just does. I have to figure out what fabrics I want to use, what colors. I don't have any Christmas colors. I don't know if I'll be able to make the car a Christmas color because I don't think I have any Christmas colors. But yeah, using the die system, it makes this block go a lot faster to piece together. There's 6 cards in the quilt and 4 sets of trees. And we're going to make, well, I'm going to make the trees in a separate video. This video is already pretty long, so I'm going to make the trees in a separate video. And the trees are made just like these trees here. They're identical. They're just not on top of the car, and they're different length. But I'm going to make that in a separate video so that you can see how the whole quilt is made. I show you how the car is made with the tree on top, and I'm going to show you how the trees are made that are not on top of the car. And so this will be in my Etsy shop, and it will also be on my website. Probably not sure this weekend or next weekend. I'm going to try to get this fabric all cut up as quick as possible, and maybe you guys can make this quilt before Christmas. You still have about 2 months, well, a month and a half before Christmas. So but yeah, using the die system, it goes so much faster. When you get your kit, all you have to do is open up your kit and lay your pieces out on a design board or your table. You're gonna need a lot of room because there's a lot of pieces, and you need some room because this is a really big block, and there's a lot of pieces, but they're not hard at all, especially since they're die cut. You don't have any fabric waste, and you notice I did not use a rotary cutter at all to make this block. Isn't that amazing? No rotary cutter or cutting mat to make this block. It's all die cut. Okay, I think that is everything I can think of. So, like, subscribe if you like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up and leave a comment on anything you would rather see different. And yeah, I think that is it. And I am going to be making another quilt top, or a block. It's also going to have a lot of pieces in it as well. I'm just waiting on my dies to come in the mail or FedEx. It's going to be the Norm die. I don't know if you guys seen the Norm block. It's called Norm, N-O-R-M. It's a Norm block and a Nanette block. It's a girl and a boy, and I'm going to be making a block each of them. And there's a lot of pieces in those blocks as well. They're not as big as this, but there's a lot of pieces. So I'm going to be making that as soon as my custom dies arrive. I do order a lot of custom dies. I send them the measurements, and then they put together a drawing. They send it to me, and then I look it over. If it looks correct, then I would approve it and pay for it. And then it usually takes a week and a half to get the dies. And these dies are very expensive. If you didn't see me cut this block out using my die, go back to my other video. And well, I might put the 2 videos together, so it's going to be a long video. And you can see how I cut all of these out using a custom die. And very expensive custom die, like $1,000. So they're expensive. So all right, guys, I am gonna let you go. So, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys. And if you want to purchase the book, here's what the book look like. Vintage Christmas by Lori Holt. I bought my book at Joann's, which we don't have anymore. And I'm sure you can get this on Amazon. I bought this book many years ago. This is a very old book. And yeah, if you want to get the book, the pattern is in this book. And you can purchase this book on Amazon. I'm sure it's still out there. It's really old. I don't know how old, but This is what the quilt looks like. There's a car down here and down here. I don't know if you can see them. Let's see, there might be another picture. Yeah, here is what the block look like. I am just doing the blocks. I'm not doing the sashing, and I'm not doing the borders because I only purchased a small amount of fabric. I'm not at this time including sashing and borders in my kits. The kit would just contain the block fabric to make the blocks. And so you can add your own sashing and borders. Once my business grows, then I'll be able to add more fabric and add the borders and sashing to my future quilt kits. But for now, I'm just focusing on the blocks, which take the longest to make. This is what the quilt look like. It's no, it's 6 cards. I thought it was 5. 6 cards and 4 trees. So you can get this on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, put in Lori Holt Vintage Christmas book, and it should come up. The book was about $40, so it's a little spendy. And this is the only pattern that I like in this whole book. I don't plan on making any of the other patterns in this book. As of now, I don't plan on it. I bought it just for the Christmas quilt. So, okay guys, see you next video.